Yeah, Hulahan. It's Monday. We back, Johnny.
Yes, dude, I was looking at the garden going way back to when we started this video thing, and man, there's some janky stuff we started with.
You watched some of the first videos? Like we're still trying
Bro,
to figure out how to hit record.
yeah. I think I was doing it off an iPad, but man, I'm buzzing, because this garden is, after a year, like it is literally starting to produce fruit, man. Just had a wonderful appointment this morning here in Lahaina. Had some people reach out to me yesterday. Already had an appointment set with clients that were always coming at the end of the month that we already been working with at a high level. So yeah, I'm just buzzing. It's just so much more fun to attract than to chase somebody with weird phone calls and, just just searching, right? Just so much. It's just so much better this way, Danny. I'm so very excited. And it's a little off-putting because they kind of know who you are already and your personality and know nothing about them. And so it's just really fun. You're literally spending, like, I got to get to know you a little bit here. So gotta share a little bit about yourselves.
At
So
least
yeah,
your
it's a
name. Come
lot of
on, let's get
fun.
your name beyond the username.
That's it. And I used to always send a little digital card or whatever that was, just in my photos and just say,
That's
"Hey,
my
I look
face.
like this." And then they're like, "Hey, we watched your video. We kind of know what you look like." I'm like, "Oh, I
Yeah, not
forgot."
just what you look like, but how you
Yeah,
smile, how you
right.
sound, your
Yeah, how you
expressions.
dress.
They know how you sing. They know what you eat.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy. So I was just so grateful. Comment sections popping off, having interesting conversations in there. And real conversations too. So, it
Yeah,
was
there's some good ones. I mean, one that popped up to me that was kind of interesting, and we have talked about it before on the show. Someone mentioned on a recent show on our deal of the week last week. If you didn't check it out, it's a $4.99 special, 2 options depending on what you're looking for, but ultimately trying to help you understand what you want. Go check that out. But they said we didn't mention the wind enough for Malaya.
yeah, fair. I
And
mean,
that's fair. We didn't really address it in that episode. It could be an ick for some people. Ma'alaya is considered the second windiest harbor in the world. And I've lived there for 3 years. So I have front row seat in this experience. For me, of those 3 years, Johnny, there was a handful of days, less than 10, where the wind was so outrageous that the car door slams back in your face when you open it. That
right.
I would say is like uncomfortably windy. The other days you have more than a handful of days that it's pretty breezy. For me, this is my personal view, and everyone's going to take this differently. Some people, that is those 10 days over a couple of years where the door slams in your face, that is an instant like, we never want to be there. We don't want that. We're not about that. Awesome. Like, if we know you don't want that, it's totally okay. I mean, total transparency, the majority of agents on the island don't want to go to Ma'alaya, don't like Ma'alaya, don't want to sell in Ma'alaya, don't want to do open houses in Ma'alaya. They just don't want to go
It's because your signs get blown down, so it's kind of impossible to do an open house without, like, literally you got to bring sandbags for your
there. It's not
signs.
impossible, but people just
Right.
don't like. I used to sit open house there all the time because I lived there. But yes, then there's a handful of other days it's a little bit breezy. For me, the advantage is we never used AC in 3 years. We never turned on the AC. We had 2 AC units in the condo, never turned it on, never needed it. It was always comfortably breezy, or there's air going through, there's movement. That was really great. I enjoyed that a lot. I think as a result of some of the wind, it keeps people away, so it's a bit more quiet, that kind of thing. So it is windy. Our apologies for not fully putting that out there as a potential ick. Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that to the attention. People do need to know that if you're considering Ma'alaya, it is windy. It can be windy.
So let's talk about it. Maui is the windiest island within our chain. And that's why windsurfers have flocked to Ho'okipa from Europe for years. That's why it's been such a hotbed there. That's why we're known for kicking off wind sports like foiling with a wing and kite surfing and all these other wind sports, right? And that's just the truth. And it really comes down to topography, right? So I always call Maui like Mickey Mouse, but missing an ear, right? Because you got the west side and you got the main portion of it. No second ear there. But you have this huge central valley. You've got 10,000 feet, Haleakala, and then I think Mauna Kahalavai and the West Maui Mountains, maybe, I don't know, 6,000 feet. So you just have this huge central valley to just funnels all this wind. You know, it's kind of fun to come and land when you're coming through Maui and you feel all kinds of wind. And yeah, that's it. However, one of the most convenient locations you could live on Maui, right? I was explaining to them the inconvenience of living on the west side because everything's about an hour away. I go, but what's interesting is like places that you think would be further than an hour are not necessarily. Like Pukalani, still about an hour. Portions of Haiku, about an hour. Wailea, about an hour. 45 minutes ish to central Maui, unless you're going to like, you know, stuff off of Ho'okele Safeway or something like that, maybe a little bit more. So everything seems to be an hour away. Whereas Ma'alai, everything seems to be up 20 minutes away. So advantages, disadvantages. I mean, nice to have maybe the start of a 5 mile beach that you could walk on right there at Haycraft Park. So yeah, it's Maui. But we are a windy island, man. I remember I was in timeshare for a short period of time. My first gig was at the Hyatt Residence Club. And I just remember the trades would howl so much. Like, you know, it would slam the door. Or you hear that whistle when you open up the door, you know, that wind going. That's just Maui for you. It's blowing right now. We blew out the Kona wind pattern where we were getting south winds, and now we are back to trades at 15 to 25, which means it's going to be rainy here on the west side a little bit with the trade showers. So yeah, we are back to windy. Waves are pumping though, man. A couple days in
That's
the Napili
Maui.
Bay. Yeah, it is going.
There was one other comment that really stuck out, Johnny. It was a bit of spicy. I think maybe not for this particular show, but maybe give them a little glimpse of something that will drop in the future.
You know, I appreciate the honesty though, and we realtors here on Maui do have a reputation for being greedy. I think a lot of it comes from testimonies that they see for different Bill 9 events, the whole Minatoya list. It just feels like, you know, it's always out for the money making. And the Hawaiian culture really is one that looks towards community, sharing a lot. You know, that's where sustainability comes from. We like to show up for each other, but sometimes maybe even to our own detriment. Like we're not so interested in like creating generational wealth or those sort of things. We really are just, hey, if I have a house and then I have a house for my kids, my family, that's great. Enough food to eat, happy. So, you know, I understand the sentiment. And at some point, we're going to wade into it because it took me a little bit to get an understanding about how people felt about realtors here. I mean, I didn't start my real estate career here in Maui. I started in Arizona. And you're basically like a mailman when you're a real estate agent. I mean, you know, the guy that's on Modern Family, he's kind of doofish. I mean, that's kind of like, you know, just old schmo. And then you show up here and you're like, you are the devil. It's like, whoa, man, no, I like what I do. I enjoy what I do. But the feelings are there. And I think it stems from watching maybe people be able to generate more than we have here to the detriment, maybe in our mentality towards the future where our kids maybe can't afford to live here and stuff. So at some point, I'm going to have to wade into it. Right. I mean, it's something that I think is on people's minds. How do the Hawaiians feel about us haoles coming over there? And I think that it's something that needs to be addressed. I'm going to need to address the fact that, you know what, we're people and racism is alive and well everywhere at some point. Right. And I heard a great comment that we here in Hawaii, and this is more in the past, we were just equally racist with all colors. And there's that great song, you know, Sunshine Lee, that kind of plays to a humorous end to that. And I think that sometimes maybe in the past, you know, haoles were kind of put off by the races. They weren't used to having it kind of thrown at them. So that's where I mean, like, you know, we're kind of equally racist. But it's something that we need to discuss. So it's just not a topic for today. I think it's going to take up an entire video.
Or
I
two or
invited
three,
that
maybe.
yeah, I invited that particular person to come on to share really, you know, something we call mana'o, where we're sharing ideas, understanding. I'd still would love to have them, give them the opportunity because it's good to hear it from the source and the understanding, you know. I have my own opinions on things. I look at things from a bigger lens. You know, we lament the fact that so many Hawaiians have moved out of Hawaii to the mainland. It's called being priced out of paradise. But the reason for that is a conscious one. That's somebody that just wants to be able to provide bigger and more for their family.
Did that before as well,
I
right?
moved to the mainland. Yeah. And I did it with the same mentality. Mine also came with some personal issues. I needed to get out of this environment and I moved to the desert and I dried out and it was awesome. But same thing. You know, I'm waiting tables over here. I'm in fine dining and I'm like, man, how am I going to pull this off? You know, how do I buy stuff over here? So The wife's from Arizona, so that's what took us there, and
Things
that's
were a
what
little
got me
bit
into
cheaper
this
back then too.
industry. Oh my goodness, dude! I remember the number 9 plate at Carolina's, $5, 2 crispy tacos, rice, beans, drink the salsa. Whoo, lights out. But I remember the $5 plate lunch too, man. And now they're $20, and people are saying it's worth the money, and it's hard for me to understand because I'm that old guy now. That's what it is. So yeah, it's coming. We'll wait in. And I think it's going to be an important one because I think people want to have that understanding and maybe have an understanding why. So,
That's an
yes.
important one. Speaking of sharing of ideas, we kind of Monday's episode is all about that, and so we
Yeah.
we got some interesting insider information about a complex in
Yeah. So,
Ma'alaya. Johnny, what did you learn?
yeah, I'm hearing from people that they love the fact that we have this understanding of different complexes and these different nuances that come through, right? And so when I met with these clients today, they'd mentioned that they had been attracted to Kainala that was over there at Malaya. And the reason for it was price range, right? Because Kainala we know is leasehold. But what they shared with me is that there are some potential big special assessments that are coming down the pipe, some giant ones like, and the ones that we see are what are happening right now with a lot of condo complexes on Maui. If you're built in the 70s, some point you need a whole exterior redo. Like the salt water just eats into everything, right? We call that spalling. Roofs need to be redone. We've done cast iron plumbing in the past, so you need to be retrofitted in there. The first thing I asked them was is it septic or sewer? Because there was complexes in Ma'alaya where they knew that they would have to redo that at some point coming up. Honokai always remembered sinkholes. There was some potential for that there. Where do we come up with this stuff? This is how we're paying attention. We're having conversations. That one went into the toolbox now, right? That's another thing that we know. Going in and showing some clients Nani Kai Hale and always talking about the lock off ability, but now going there and looking at it and wow, that's something new. No longer can do that. This is how we come up with it. Unfortunately, there is no real estate update book that goes out and says, here's all the stuff you need to know. You have to be interested. You have to be having a lot of conversations, and then you have to remember it. You have to be that nerd that it's like, ooh, this is good information. Like I get off, I'm like, ooh, I got a new tidbit today. So thank you so much
Yeah,
for sharing that. This is how it comes out. And then
and
just being
we might be working on something like that. I've been in the
that's right.
lab cooking up something. Maybe
Danny's
we'll
cooking.
crowdsource a little real estate update, something. So that's all I can tell you for now. It's proprietary and in the works.
And then, we are such nerds that we actually read condo docs, and it's amazing what you can find in there. We're nerds that read preliminary title reports, so we glean information from that. And that's what it is. It's just being active, being interested, being curious, asking questions, and just loving the craft.
Well, my goodness. I mean, did you ever imagine that after college you'd have to learn so much? I mean, this business is like a nonstop learning something. I mean, whether it's about condos or construction or insurance or, I mean, now learning editing and YouTube and SEO and all these sort of, like, it is a nonstop learning. And there's just so much that we still learn on every deal, every conversation, every interaction, every offer that we write, every negotiation period. It is nonstop learning.
Well, what shocks me is like there's so many agents that I interact with that just have no curiosity about this stuff and don't want to discover and do the deep dives. I mean, the whole thing about this hot list Hulahan was my attraction to the literal hot list on the MLS and having a good understanding of that. And then understanding that there's this thing called associated documents that have a treasure trove of information that realtors are sharing. And then you discover, wow, this agent's a super geek and they just put so much information. You can learn so much. Now you can just glean, just search his old listings and you can find stuff out. I mean, I just, like I said, I just really, really enjoy the craft. I feel knowledge is power. So the more that I can ingest and have an understanding of, the more powerful I become to serve. So that's that.
There it is. What else are we hearing around the island? Maybe in Kahana.
Oh, dude. So yeah, I had one of my clients just hit me in the WhatsApp. He's like, dude, what about this one? Hotel Zone. So, Kahana Sunset, I mean, the F building, we've talked about it, already been condemned. Literally, because the high tide mark is underneath the building, they are encroaching on state land because the state owns all land up to the high tide mark. So the state's been actually getting more and more land as we lose more and more beach, right? But after these Kona storms, what you're looking as the F building on the opposite side here, the other trophy building was the A building. And then there's a big grassy area right there where you see all of that. And you can see that kind of that concrete area there. Well, there's been some sinkholes on that grass now to where you're literally looking down from the grass where you used to have your lounge chair and you are seeing a cave and ocean water coming underneath.
Let's watch it.
That was, yeah, we go.
Zooming in, drone view.
Yep. If you want to friend somebody up on Facebook because you're interested, Kai Nishiki is a local activist and she is all about these oceanfront complexes. So there it is, guys. Brutal. So what does it mean? It means future special assessments is what it means. The F building will need to be either completely taken down or relocated. And they don't really know where they're going to put it, lose a parking lot maybe. When you lose a building in a condominium association, you have to make those owners whole. The other owners, that's what condominium is. It's a type of ownership where everybody shares in expenses. The mother of special assessments will come out either to rebuild building F somewhere else, which will now no longer have the same values that it did in the past because it was a trophy building. So now the E building, interestingly, could become the direct ocean front after all the special assessments. But what do you do for these sinkholes now? How do you repair that when the ocean just continues to encroach?
Does the A building go away too?
Yeah, there it is. Man, Kihei Kai, one of the first ones to go down. Kahana Sunset's always been an issue. I mean, it's happening here, guys. Really, really is. I fantasize about, like, I don't know, does desalinization get rid of more ocean water? Can we do some of the stuff that Australia does with sand pumping that makes killer beach breaks for surfing? I don't know, but maybe we should start having conversations that are a little outside of the box. Just some crazy thoughts in my head, like, maybe doing a desalinization plant somewhere. We need water, it seems sometimes, and we have too much ocean water. Pump some sand for some surf breaks. I don't know. Just trying to think outside the box,
Pretty normal things in the rest of the world. I've been a lot of places. Desalinization is super common here in Hong Kong, especially a lot of the golf courses have their own desalinization plants. You see it very common in the Middle East. A lot of different seashore infrastructure and establishment and all of that is pretty common as well. So it'll be interesting if some of those things come to Hawaii or it's just natural preservation. And then if it's natural preservation that we're going to go with, then what is sort of the consequence of all of these buildings that don't get protected? Do they get ripped out? Do they get moved around? Do they get rid of all the ocean front?
I mean, with what I'm watching with Kihei Kai and what we heard about the issues that they were having getting any permits to kind of make things get fixed, really does seem like we do want these things to fall into the ocean. And that makes no sense to me, man, because these are old complexes. I mean, what does that do for pollution about our ocean, our reefs, So I don't know how we're going to get in front of it, man, but definitely Kahana Sunset, Kihei Kai. Those are two to be aware of.
Maybe stay away from. Well, let's give them the hot list, Johnny. Let's show them what's going on in the market. Talk through some of the options. Talk through what's going on at those places. So
We go
in your neck of the woods to kick things off, Johnny.
Oh, dude, they brought this one down, way down, man. I mean, so Aunt Marilyn's here in town. She is living her best life after all the crap that she has had to deal with in the last couple of years. And she wants to have that kind of view. Wow. Okay. Good to know.
Pretty sweet view.
So Napili Point, guys, I'd literally drive down my road and I could just cross the street and I'm right there. I surf out here a lot. Honokai Cove, Hole in the Head, Little Makaha. Yeah, it's a vibe. Hotel zoned. It really is.
So they're $1,295,000. Now they're sub $1 million, but it took them over a year to get down to that price point.
Because they really were holding their own for a little bit, man. 2 G's for fees, though. Hokulani Golf Villas. Here we go. Down $1.90.
So in the world of fees, Johnny, I mean, you look $2,000 there, and then you come to here. Hokulani Golf Villas is a $2 million property. It's 2,500 square feet. There's all kinds of amenities in the neighborhood. There's all kinds of green space and gardens and all this kinds of stuff. And they're only $1,000 a month in fees. Sometimes you just wonder how they all come about.
I'm with it.
I mean, look at that amazing pool.
Now, I don't know if
spa, clubhouse.
I don't know what you're responsible for in this community in terms of like exterior maintenance. Do your fees take care of that and the roofs and that sort of thing? Because, they live like houses.
It's a condo.
But yes, yeah. No, truth.
So 2.1 on this guy, 250 days. They've come down almost
It seems like there
200,000.
is
So
always one listed, always churning in there. Really, really is amazing, man. I mean,
the highest percentage churn complex in the whole island, year after year after year.
the realtor farmer in there makes a decent living, that's for sure. South Point, 450. It is upstairs, so we do not have a yard. Really seeing some corrections here. We have not reverted back to the mean. I remember a nice flip opportunity was in the 300s and change when I first jumped back into this. So still some equity being held on to, but a very, very popular neighborhood. And I remember when Danny lived in this neighborhood, but not at South
Right
Point.
across the street.
That's right.
So one of your classic kind of starter condos for people living on the island, and for those moving to the island, we see Kihei Villages, South Point, Honokai Kai. Like those are kind of where people typically start out. So they end up here for a couple of years and then moving on to something else.
What happens when it floods and rains heavy there, Danny? Anything go on around there? Because we know
No
what
real
happens
issue
to
around
Kihei
South Point.
Villages. Good to know.
Yeah, no real issues around South Point. I think because it's kind of up elevated and then downslopes on either side. So we never had any issues really in the neighborhood.
We have definitely breached the $1 million, low line for vacation rentable condos, Danny. I mean, Kihei Kai. So the classic loft style second bedroom. It works okay in a vacation rental setting, right? Just stick the kids up there.
Yeah.
There's not much privacy because you have that pony wall there. But yeah,
$875 now for 2-bedroom. I mean, hotels owned. It's getting interesting, Johnny.
those
Things are
had to have been
becoming a little bit more
1315. Yeah, 1315
accessible.
back in the day. Wow.
Maui Cam under $1 million.
Dude, cray, man. Another loft situation. They're complex. You're very, very close to Wailea, Kiavakapu, etc. So well loved for the people that hang out there for sure. A little bit of a view on that guy there too.
Yeah, double an eye. Some intrigue on some of those.
Good square footage. Here we go. Holly Royale. Whoa, Danny. Real corrections,
$399.
man. Yeah, 1 bedroom, 2 bath.
Got the stairs. Very popular for residential. A lot of realtors live in this community.
I like the A building just because of the parking, because if you don't know it about Holly Royale, I mean, the parking's one way around the complex. So, you got to go all the way around. But if you live closer to the entrance, A building, you just kind of cut across and pop out that way. So I like it for that reason. Get
Johnny,
the
talk to
vaulted
us a little
ceilings.
bit about the positive, negative of the vaulted ceilings being up on the high floor and heat in Hawaii.
Yeah, so the vaulted ceilings, people love the effect in terms of how it feels. It's open, but hard to air condition that space, and heat rises in Hawaii and everywhere else, as you can imagine. That's why you will find in most two-story situations, our kitchens are upstairs. And that is because we don't want to heat up the bedrooms from a downstairs kitchen. So, you got a fan going there, but they could be hot if you don't have AC for sure.
So upside space,
well loved.
feels open.
Just feels
downside
open. Yeah.
hot.
Wow. Wailea
Nice.
Elua. So Elua is the only hotel zoned portion, if I remember correctly. That's why they feel so strongly about this. But 1,600 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It is the elusive 3 bedroom vacation rental with a beautiful view. Got to walk down to, is there a cabana down in the ocean on this guy here too, Danny? At Elua, or is that? Yeah. That's a really gorgeous, well done unit, heavily booked. Just a lot of money for it. I mean, what are we asking here? $2,500 a foot? I mean, we're Ho'olei price, man. That's what I'm looking at. Going, what do I want? This or Ho'olei?
Yeah.
What say you between those choices?
Ooh, that's a tough choice. I mean,
Tell you.
Ho'olei, I would say, is a bit more of a prestigious community. I mean, it does have that more luxury vibe and your connection to Grand Wailea and some of those sorts of things.
Absolutely
you do have some of the
right.
amenities here. You do have the view here. But I mean, I'm just kind of wondering, like, at $5 million, are you still concerned about vacation renting?
I know, right?
Yeah, you're not really going to make crazy money.
I'm like, do I buy here a Polo now, Danny?
Or
do I buy Polo Beach, man? I mean, it's a square footage play. It's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath play. These are the things that go on in our minds. But here's the thing, guys. There are Wailea Elua fans that only vacation at Wailea Elua, and that's who this appeals to.
That's who owns it. That's who it appeals to. And kind of this whole idea of what's important to you. I mean, this is what we did, Deal of the Week, the masterclass. Again, we'll, shout out, go check it out. It's all about, what is important to you? What are you trying to accomplish? For some people, I mean, this $5 million at Elua, it makes sense because it's 3-bedroom, because it's remodeled. For other people, they're like, no, I want to be at Hawaii, or I want to be at Polo Beach because I need that ocean view. I need that direct. I need that access to the beach. So for each of you, it's going to be something different. And that's, why we've created the show and why we've created the Dreams to Reality process.
That's what's up. Here we go, guys. Abundance Road, McKenna. Across the street from the ocean, but not a bad thing in this case here in the world of sea level rise, etc. Do you have to deal with people driving along, maybe right in front sometimes? But man, that's it. Sheesh.
Came down 2 million.
You might know some neighbors, Aerosmith guy, Bezos, some of those other clowns.
Just a few
over
few
here
neighbors.
trying to live our lifestyle. Kealani Gardens. So this is Kealani original section, provides for a nice yard there. These have held their own pretty much, man, comparatively. I mean, similar money to like Iliahi, which is up on the hill, but great square footage. We do make mention, just so you know, in full disclosure, you do have our local prison across the street. So there's that.
These guys have hovered around 700 for a long time.
Kahoma. Okay.
Just
so
an easy
one of the homes.
1.45 million.
So these were all condominiumized, guys. So they are homes, though. The draw to Kahoma was Baby Beach right across the street. This is actually a bit of a deal kind of for Kahoma, man. I've seen some crazy ones selling there, $2 million plus. So yeah, Kahoma Village. Showing the behavior 35 days in, obviously getting no showings or action because we reduced by 49,000. So there we have it. Started out as workforce housing there, gang. 800,000, 2020, 6 years ago. There you go. Probably thought that they could get that at the particular time. Just kept overpricing themselves.
And then
just kept overpricing themselves. Now coming to a bit of reality. Feels like a second home play, but I could be wrong.
800 for it. There's some room in there.
I take that back. That's right. They bought it from the start. Kihei Villages. We just spoke of it. I see the ductless AC, so that's a win. It's a bottom unit, so it has the yard. Where are we at? 29. We're not on the highway. That's all the single digits. Roger that. Right, some update.
Got a sauna.
Oh,
interesting.
Indeed. It's got Sugar Beach across the street. You got Sugar Beach Bake Shop. Wow. This guy's put in some amenities. Dang, dude. Okay.
For $499, I mean, you see the South Point 450 upstairs. You got a little bit of a downstairs. You got a sauna. You got a cold plunge. I mean,
this is perceived event-based ish, and obviously somebody that was into their health. But just got to deal with a little mud when we get some weather.
Yep, that's Kihei Villages.
That's what's up. Huanui Way, Kahana Y. So $1,495,000, kind of dealish for the neighborhood there. Do have to have flood insurance. There's a big river that runs to the north side of this complex, so just something to be aware of. They're built up high. There's garages, and you could use it as some living space down below on your first true ground level, but you cannot rent them out because that's there for flood reasons. So just a quick note there. That's what I was speaking, just like that.
Like a flip. No.
Picked it up in 20.
Oh, but they definitely just recently remodeled it. 26, got some staging in there. So.
It does, yeah. They did a nice job downstairs there. Look at that. Party zone.
All the space. So kind of interesting construction on that then.
I think it's priced right for what it is. I really do. Here's another Kahoma. Wow, man, just coming down to earth with these prices compared to what I remember them being in the past. Is this the same one or is it a different one? Sometimes they'll... there it is. They relisted it as a condo, or... This isn't an attached one, that's why, right?
It's a different one.
Yep. Interesting.
A few options in coming to market.
Indeed, we do. Wow, everybody getting out. Very interesting. Same pricing strategy.
This is the same one as a single family. So they put it out as a single family and as a condo.
A la Hokulani Golf. Yeah, there we go. $785.
Look
it went. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, mountain view, action. Bambo.
So nice remodel. Corner unit, $785. Go.
Bambo.
And another one.
Wow.
Upstairs, a couple from this, $7.99. Go. I wonder if they bought 2.
Word is out on Lahaina Shores, man. Come get it.
It's coming back.
All right. Wow.
Whaler's still going.
That's got to
Nicely
be one with
remodeled.
it's still a back corner though, huh?
It's a back corner, yeah.
Roger that.
7.9 down to 2.599.
I mean, that's
Nice
a
deal.
Disneyland play right there too.
Oh, someone grabbed the deal of the week.
There it went, guys. Pauhana.
Came down to $4.99. Was at $6.85. I mean, that was deal. Someone will
bet they
jump on
still
it. They don't
shaved
mind
off-
the wind.
Somebody still shaved off 10, 15, I'm going to guess. Maybe more. We'll see what happens when it closes. P.E. Holo Road, 1,999,000. Little slight reduction with beautiful views there. That is so P.E. Holo, isn't it?
Sure is. Fireplace.
Wowza. McKenna Surf brought
Wanted
9.
12. We'll take 9.
Yep. 136 days in. So start out aspirationally, but we're willing to trim to find the market. And here we go. Only 3 milli off. Tough to price luxury
25%.
sometimes. Yep, here we go. 2.85. There it is. Man, people writing offers, getting deals.
2.8. All right, we'll take it.
Maui Kai, 9.
This one got a bit of discount too, down to $960 on this 2-bedroom. I like Maui Kai. I like this neighborhood. I don't like the upstairs top floor.
2 high ceilings. Man, that's a lot of windows and stuff, huh? I bet that thing.
Yeah, a lot to clean.
Yeah. 875 brought 895. Very interesting, but it's Kula, gang. So a little bit of a bidding war and a little bit above list.
There you have it, Johnny.
That's it.
All kinds of interesting updates, rumors, side scoop, coconut wire list. If you like what you see here, like what you hear, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Share it with someone that would find it helpful. Feel free to leave a comment. We could talk about it. Or if you want to see something specific that you're looking at, thinking about, we can address that in a future show. Until next time.
See you, April Fools.